Hello, everybody. Today we'll discuss about the personal development program in HR management. How to develop a human resource and make him and prepare him according to the requirement of the institution, the organization, and get maximum output from the personnel. That is the discussion we are having today. And for any organization to prepare itself through growth, there is a basic need for developing its manpower resources. It is one thing to possess knowledge, but another to put to effective use. It is essential to help develop skills and also update knowledge. Especially in a rapidly changing society, employee training and development are not only activities that are desirable, but also those that an organization must commit its resources to if it is to maintain a viable and knowledgeable workforce. So it means that when an organization want to have an efficient and productive workforce, the organization has to arrange all the training and personal development programs, external and internal training for the staff, so that they get maximum output from the personnel who are working in the organization. That is a most essential training program for the development of human resources inside a company. This unit, we aim to understand the meaning and purpose of training and know the importance of and benefits of training, describe the different types of training programs, describe the system approaches to training, compare on the job and off the job training. On the job training you know very well, and off the job training too. Know how to select a training method, evaluate training programs, understand the needs and importance of executive and management development. What is the importance of developing the managemental force, the working force? Know the methods of executive development, understand the needs and benefits of career planning, understand the process of career planning, etc. All these things we have to check it today and understand on that. I hope all the information we are giving, the management information we are giving, are useful for you. And please subscribe press the subscribe button so that you can get alert on all the future videos we are uploading in YouTube, and you can understand more about the subject through our videos. I hope our videos are useful for you and you are learning management from the videos provided by us. So training, what is the meaning and purpose of training? Is a process of learning a sequence of a programmed behavior. It is application of knowledge. It gives people an awareness of the rules and procedures to guide their behavior. It attempts to improve their performance on the current job and prepare them for intended job. According to Edwin Filippo, the purpose of learning is to achieve change in the behavior of those trained and to enable them to perform better. In order to achieve the objective, any training program should try to bring positive changes in knowledge. It helps to trainee to know facts, policies, procedures, rules pertaining to his job. It helps him to increase his technical and efficiency necessary to do the job. Attitude, it molds its behavior towards his co-workers and supervisors and create a sense of responsibility in him. So the aim of a training is to change the individual and put capacities in him, including the knowledge, skill, and attitude. Attitude is very important. We know that very well. All the things, behavioral change, behavioral pattern, teach him how to behave in an organization and how to get the maximum output of him is the aim of any training, in-house training or the external training. Now the importance of training, it equips the management to face the pressure of changing environment. It helps to for the staff, the human resource, to face the changing environment, the competitive environment in the industry. It usually results in the increase of quantity and quality of output. It increases the quality of output. It leads to job satisfaction and higher morale of employees. It leads to job satisfaction because they learn new things and understand new things and they understand how to do it perfectly, so they will be satisfied about doing the job. And periodical it will be boosting up their brain, giving some morale to the brain, some enhancement to the brain, so that they will get more knowledge, and they will show more interest. Normally after the training, the first and about a week time, the enthusiasm level and the motivation level will be very high with all the laborers, I mean staff in the company, and they will work more. Trained workers need lesser supervision. They do not get any need any guidance. They know how to work, and that will be beneficial for the company. They'll have to employ very less supervisors in that case. Trained workers enable the enterprise to face competition from rival organization, so efficiency will be high when they are trained, and they will enable support the company to face the competition in comparison with the rival organizations. It enables employees to develop and rise within the organization and increase the earning capacity of the employees. The training give more efficiency to the employees and allow them increase their capacities in the terms of money and the job. It molds the employees' attitude and help them to achieve better cooperation within the organization. They will a behavioral pattern will be developed, and attitude development will happen, and the employee can do such and such a behavioral pattern, change their behavioral pattern in the sense they start behaving well to the subordinates and the superiors in the company. Trained employees make better economic use of materials and equipment, resulting in reduction of waste and spoilage. When they understand the production in the training program, they will understand the importance of wastage and the importance of stopping the wastage. They will reduce the waste, and their efficiency will go high, and the wastage will come down, and that will also indirectly benefit the performance of. So the training instruct the workers towards a better job adjustment, how to adjust with the job and to do it satisfactorily, how to adjust with the situation in the arena of a job, the work floor, and a lower turnover of employees will happen. People will not leave the job and find another job. They will stick on to the job for a long time, so that the company will save in new recruitment expenses for the company. And the absenteeism also, they will not be absent, they will be enthusiastic, they will not be lazy, they will not take more leave or holidays, so they will come for work regularly. So benefits of training, benefits to the organization. A program training becomes essential for the purpose of meeting specific problem of particular organization arising out of the introduction of new lines of production, changes in design, demands and competition, etc. The major benefits of training to an organization are higher productivity. So the training will help the organization in the introduction of new lines of production, new types of production, new system of production, changes in the design. So the people will understand the competition is higher, and the design is not good, so the people will recommend, the workers will recommend for good designs, and that will benefit demands of competition. Demands the competition will demand good performance in the market, and that can be delivered by the company due to the training given to the staff inside the company. Higher productivity. Training can help employees to increase their level of performance on their present assignment. It enhances skills. Instead, increased performance and productivity are most evident on the part of new employees who are not yet fully aware of the most efficient and effective ways of performing their jobs. Enhanced skill usually help to increase both quantity and quality of output. So what happened, when training, they will understand the importance of they will get in enhanced skills and increased performance and productivity. They will perform well, and at the same time the company will also perform well along with them. And when they perform well in the job, enhanced skill usually increase both quality and quantity of the output. So now we'll see how the training will develop a better organizational climate inside the company, and endless change of positive reactions result from a well-planned training program, increased morale, less supervisory pressures, improved product quality, improved financial incentives, internal promotion, etc. Result in better organizational culture. So the entire productivity will be high, and the behavioral pattern in between the staff in the organization, all these situations will develop a harmony inside the company and a high standard situation in the organizational climate. Less supervision training does not eliminate the need for supervision, but it reduces the need for constant supervision. No constant supervision is needed when the people are trained well and they are equipped for working harmoniously for the company. So the training programs prevent manpower obsolescence too. Manpower obsolescence is prevented by training, as it fosters initiative and creativity of employees, and employee is able to adapt himself to technological changes. So it will allow the employees to adopt technological changes and find it easy for them to know about new situations in the technology and adopt new technology. Economical operations. The training personnel will make economic use of materials and equipment. This reduces wastage in materials and damage to machinery and equipment. So it is understandable that when they are learning about the good system, they are not learning about the economy, they will understand the reduction of wastage and all these things, and they will use the system and the machinery, everything in a proper way, in a systematic way. All the equipments will be safe, and the productivity will be high, and it will benefit the company on all the matters. Prevents industrial accidents. Proper training can help to prevent industrial accidents. Normally it is a quality training, and they will be inducted, they will be giving instruction about all the risk factors involved, and they will be alert about the risks in doing the operations, and they will prevent industrial accidents to happen. Improves the quality. Trained employees are less likely to make operational mistakes, thereby increasing the quality of the company's product. They will not make, they will be careful, they will understand the seriousness of the program, of the production, and they will not waste anything, the resources, and it will end up in improves the quality of the company's products for the customer. Greater loyalty. A common objective of training program would be employees attitudes to achieve support for organizational activities and to obtain better cooperation and greater loyalty. Thus training helps in building an efficient and loyal workforce. A loyal workforce is the most highest asset for any organization, and when they are giving training periodically, they will understand the importance, they will be proud of their company because they are getting training and everything, and they are enhancing their knowledge. So they will try to be very greatly loyal to the company, and they will stick on to the company, and the employee turnover will be very less in that case. Standardization of procedures. Trained employees will work intelligently and make fewer mistakes when they possess the required know-how and understand their jobs. When they understand the job there through their training, they will be intelligent enough to make very few mistakes only, and it will contribute to the well-being and growth of the company. So now we'll see the benefits to the employees. Now we have seen the benefits to the organization. And now we'll discuss about the benefits for the employees. Personal growth for the employees. Employees on a personal basis gain individually from training. They secure wider awareness, enlarged skills, and enhanced personal growth. They will get personal growth from the training. And they will enhance their individuality and enhance their personal skills too. So the development of new skills. Training improves the performance of the employees and make them more useful and productive. The skills development developed through training serve as a valuable personal asset to the employee. It remains permanently with the employee. So it is an enhancement of the capacities and skills of the employee. So once you develop some capacities in an employee, we cannot grab it out when if even they are leaving the job and turning over the job. It doesn't mean that we can take it back. The employee is enhanced and he is taking away his skills along with him when he is doing changing the job. So the earning capacity by imparting skills, training facilities, higher remuneration to and other monetary benefits to the employee. Thus, training helps employee to utilize and develop his potential. So he'll understand the potential, and he'll be understanding the skills, and he will bring in more productivity to the company, and the company will be willing to pay more for the employee. So, along with the adoption of new technology, accepting new technology, the employee will also take care of the increased safety in the production. They will take care of the safety measures, and they will take care of the safety. Proper training can help prevent industrial accidents. Trained workers handle the machines safely, thus they are less prone to industrial accidents. A safe work environment also lead to a more stable mental attitude on the part of the employees. So it will take a more safe environment and leads to very less accidents and safety measures. And yeah, when accidents happen, it is a panic inside the company, and the company has to spend a lot of money on correction of the ailments of the employees. So those all things are coming down due to training, and the company is going to benefit out the. Then most important benefit for the employee is the confidence built. Confident training creates a feeling of confidence in the minds of the employee. It gives safety and security to them in the organization. So they will give confidence to employee, and they will understand. When they understand the company more, understand the work more, they will have a lot of confidence about the company. Types of training program: induction or orientation training. As we discussed in our earlier video, the induction is also a training program. Induction is or orientation is to make the employee understand the requirement of the company. What is the company, what is the activities, what is their job, what is their background, and where they are going to sit, the location, the position, what the position they are going to handle, and all the details will be given during the orientation program or the induction program. It is the method of introducing a new employee into the organization with a view to gain his confidence and developing a sense of cooperation in him. It is a training program used to induct a new employee into a new setting of his work. The new employee is introduced to his job situation, to his co-employees. He is also informed about the rules, working conditions, privileges, and activities of the company. So, as we discussed earlier, he will be introduced to the company, he will be introduced to his work atmosphere, he will be introduced to the supervisors, he will be introduced to his co-workers, subgroups, and all the personals in the only he helps personal adjustment of the new employee to his job and work group, but also promotes good morale in the organization. It is going to develop a good morale in the organization, because the organization gets a good employee with all the knowledge about his working atmosphere and working roles. The induction program should aim at achieving the following objectives: to build up the new employee confidence in the organization so that he may become an efficient employee; to ensure that the new employee may not form false impression regarding his place of work; to promote a feeling of belonging and loyalty; to give information to the new employee about canteen, leave rules and the other facilities, etc. In short, planned induction welcomes The new employee creates a good attitude, reduces labor turnover, and makes the employee feel at home right from the beginning. As we discussed earlier, the employee who is coming in, he'll be going through a lot of tension and stress. All the stress will be busted when they are having this Induction program will make him understand what is the job, what is his job, how simple it is, and who are his bosses whom he is going to report for, and what is the pyramid of management, and what is the machinery, all conditions, the situation of the company, the capacity of the company, and the performance of the company, everything. When he understands everything, he'll have got a lot of confidence in working for company. In short, a planned induction welcomes a new employee, creates a good attitude, reduces labor turnover, and makes the employee feel at home. He'll feel at home. Another training program is job instruction training. Normally, job instruction training is given for the employee to understand what is the job he is going to do in the organization. That is the secondary type of training program in any institutions or organizations. The object of the job training is to increase the knowledge of workers about the job with which they are concerned, so that their efficiency and performance are improved. In job training, workers are enabled to learn correct methods of handling machines and equipment, avoiding accidents, minimizing waste. So, in job training, in job instruction training, they are getting an information about the work situation, their office, their factory, or whatever. What are the equipments they are handling, what are the machineries they are handling, what is their exact job, and how to avoid, what is the safety measures, how to avoid any accidents in the job, and all these things are detailed to them when they are having their job instruction training. Under this technique, an employee is placed in a new job and is told how it may be performed. It is primarily concerned with developing in an employee the skills and habit consistent with the existing practices of an organization, and with orienting him to his immediate problems. The employees learn the job by personal observation and practice, as well as occasionally handling it. It is learning by doing, and it is most useful for job, and are either occasionally difficult to stimulate or can be learned quickly by watching and doing. The actual training follows a four-step process: preparation of training for instruction that we understand, presentation of instruction in a clear manner, having the trainee try out the job to show that he has understood the instruction, encouraging the question, and allowing the trainee to work along, and the trainer follow up regularly. So they will give all the instruction about the work and how to do that. That is the about the situation inside the company, all the details inside the company. Now we will come to the promotional training, and the promotional training may concern follow a policy of filling some of the vacancies at higher levels by promoting existing employees. This policy increases the morale of the workers. When the existing employees are promoted to superior positions in the organization, they are required to shoulder new responsibilities. For this, training has to be given. So now, as we know, the internal recruitment and the external recruitment, when they are doing internal recruitments, they have to promote the employees to the higher level, so that when they are going to a higher level, they should know about the responsibilities of being a higher in a higher post, and they should understand what is their role in the new position. And so the training has to be given so that they will understand what is their roles, and work accordingly. So they will be informed all the details about that. And refresher training. In the passage of time, employees may forget some of the method which were taught to them, or they may have become outdated because of technological development and improved techniques of management and production. Hence, refresher training is arranged for existing employees in order to provide them an opportunity to revive and also improve their knowledge. So when we are working in an organization, some of the systems and all these things will be, we will forget. When we are working for a long time, it will be it will wear out from our brain. So they will be given the employee will be given refresher training programs, which will remind you what are your duties, what are the performance you have to give for the organization, and how you have to perform well for the well-being of the organization. According to Tail Yoda, retraining, refresher training programs are designed to avoid personal obsolescence. Thus, refresher training is essential because employees require training to bring them up to date with the knowledge and the skills and to learn what they have forgotten. Rapid technological changes make even most qualified workers obsolete in course of time. So it is when the senior employees, they will not be up to date along with the technological advancement happening, and new missions will come into the working floor, and a new system will come. The changes in raw material, changes in process, all things may happen. So refreshing program, they will give immediate training for the employees to find all these things, and giving training to them, they will understand what is the next step and how to go forward. Refresher training becomes necessary because many new jobs are created and are to be manned by existing employees. New working atmosphere, new things has to happen, and the employees has to adopt that and work along with that. So refresher programs are important in that case too. Apprenticeship training, when, as we see earlier, when we are recruiting, we will be the person will be appointed as an apprentice for some time, and the apprentice training programs are important for them to understand the job and find them working well inside the job arena. Apprentice training system is widely in vogue today in many industries. It is a good source of providing the required personnel for the industry. Under this method, both knowledge and skills in doing a job or a series or related jobs are involved. The apprenticeship programs combine on the job training and experience with classroom instructions in a particular subjects. Apprentice training is desirable in industries which require a constant flow of new employees expected to become all-round craftsman. So apprentice, when we are appointing apprentice, it is not required for the company to make them permanent in the job. They can be adopted or they can dropped by the company. It doesn't make any difference. So giving training to the apprentice is also benefit because they are understanding the job, developing some skills inside the job. They will be given some money for as an apprenticeship fee, and they will not be giving full salary. The company will benefit from that. And the workforce, if a company needs a big workforce, keeping apprentice for a long time and changing the apprentice is very important for the company to maintain their employment strength. Now it is internship training. Internship training is usually meant for such occasions where advanced theoretical knowledge is to be backed up by practical experience on the job. Under the method, the professional institutes enter into arrangement with big business enterprises for providing practical knowledge to its students. For example, engineering students are sent to industrial enterprises and medical students are sent to hospital for personal practical knowledge. So the students in engineering college, they will know all the theories of machines and everything, but they will not have sufficient practical knowledge about it, and they will have to acquire practical knowledge if they want to work in a real time job in the later years after passing out from the institution. the academic institution. So the training institutions, what they will do, they will have good contracts with industries, so that they will provide a certain number of people as trainees, and the trainees will do the on-job training. They'll do the job. They'll not be paid, but they are in education. They'll be getting education from the factory. They will learn everything, and they will start as helpers. They will not be allowed to do the main work, but they will learn how to operate the factory machines and how to operate the work. That is the internship training, which is popular with educational institutions. So the another system of training program is the vestibule training. Vestibule training is arranging the working situation inside a classroom to understand for the understanding of the trainees, and normally it is required for technical work, where the implementation of a theory along with the practical is required, and all the machines or other situations will be brought into the classroom, and they will be trained. The lecture method is to give a framework on the practicals involved in the job performance. The practical exercises based on theoretical aspect is a workshop which is similar to the shop floor in the production department. The vestibule training is more suitable for those employees who are required to possess certain specific and technical skill before they are employed in our actual operations. So that is another way of training. The most of the newly recruited employees, they will be having the classroom with all the equipments and all the facilities. They will come in, they will be taught with all the theory and the practical, so that they will be ready for starting to work in an organization. So what is the systems approach in training? While designing training program, the goal of organization should be kept in mind. The organizational goals and the strategies form the basis of training objectives. However, many of the organizations do not make the connection between their strategic objectives and their training program. As a result, much of an organization investment in training programs does not contribute directly to organizational effectiveness and performance. To make certain, the investments in the training and development have maximum impact on individuals and organizational performance. A system approach to training should be used. The system approach in training has 4 phases, which are explained. So, while designing training programs, the goal of the organization should be kept in mind. The organization goal and strategies form the basis of training objectives. So many of the organizations do not make the connection between their strategic objectives and their training program. As a result, the systematic approach should be approached. And the organizational need of assessment. The first phase is need of assessment, organization analysis, task analysis, and person analysis. Person analysis about the employee analysis. The design instructional objectives, trainee readiness, learning principles, implementation, on the job method, off the job method, management development method, evaluation, reactions, learning, behavior transfer, results. So that is the systematic approach, systems approach of training. Conducting the needs assessment. So the phase 1 is to do the conducting the needs assessment. The needs a need for training should be felt by the organization managers, particularly HR managers, who find out the kind of training that are needed, where they are needed, who needs them, and which method should be used to train the employees. In order to do this, we must follow the 3 steps. Organizational analysis. It is an examination of the environment, strategies, and resources of the organization to determine where training emphasis should be placed. So, first of all, we should understand the analyze the organization, how much training is required, what type of training is required, and all these things. Task analysis. After doing the organization analysis, the next step is to do the task analysis. Task analysis involve reviewing the job description and job specification to identify the activities performed in a particular job. Task analysis often becomes more detailed than job analysis, but the overall purpose is to determine the exact content of the training program. The KSAs needed to perform the particular job should be ascertained. The competency assessment focus on the set of skills and knowledge employees need to be successful, particularly for decision oriented and knowledge intensive jobs. A task should be analyzed and understood what is the exact requirement to be given to the employee, and how the curriculum, how the training program should be designed. Then another is the person analysis. Person analysis involves determining which employee require training and which employee do not need the particular type of training. Person analysis needs the organization in several ways. It helps in avoiding the mistake of sending all employees into training when some do not need it. When some people do not need it, we need not send all the employees for the training and waste the money on that. So that will help the organization to save some money. It enables managers to determine what prospective trainers are able to do when they enter training, so that the programs can be designed to emphasize the areas in which they are deficient. So they will understand what is the deficiency of the particular employees, and they will understand accordingly and give them particular training, so that to enhance them in that area of deficiency and make them efficient enough to perform well for the organization. So now we will come to the designing of the training program. How the training program is designed, we'll discuss on that. The second step is to design the type of the learning environment necessary to enhance learning. The training design should focus on instructional objectives. What is the objective of so they describe the skills and knowledge to be acquired and the attitude to be changed. A clear statement of instructional objectives will provide a sound basis for choosing methods and materials, and for selecting the means for assessing whether the instruction will be successful or not. So the instructions, what are the instructions to be given to the employees, and the clear statement of instruction objectives will provide a sound basis of choosing methods and materials required for the training. Trainee readiness. For any training be successful, the trainee should be prepared to receive the training. In order to achieve this, prospective trainee should be screened to determine that they have the background knowledge and skill necessary to absorb what will be presented to them. So they should also understand that when you are giving the training, you should understand the trainee readiness, how much is knowledgeable to understand the subject which you are giving, and how much is ready to attend the class, how much background knowledge he has acquired, so that he can attend the class successfully. Principles of learning. Since the success or failure of a training program is frequently related to the certain principles of learning, managers and employees should understand that different training programs or techniques vary in extent to which they utilize these principles. They will vary from each other only when they are utilizing the principles. The principles for learning is important. It should be designed as per the working group who are undergoing the training, and how much they are eligible for the training. Those are things also be considered when they are training and designing the principles of training. Characteristics of instructors. The success of any training effort will depend to a large extent on the teaching skills of instructors. A good instructor is one who shows a little more effort to demonstrate more instructional preparation. So they will have if the instructors should be selection of instructors are important, because a good instructor can given a lot of value, and a good instructor can guide. Good instructor show little more effort on preparations, and that will be beneficial for the company, as it will benefit the employees of the company. Implementing the training program, a major consideration is choosing among the various training methods is determining which one is more appropriate for the case is to be learned. What is appropriate for the people who are going for the training. Evaluating the training program, training should be evaluated to determine its effectiveness. The four basic criteria available to evaluate training are reactions, learning behavior, and the result. These criteria can give a total picture of the training program and help managers evaluate the success of or otherwise of the training program. Training program is a costly and time-consuming process. The training procedure discussed below is essentially an adoption of the job instruction training course. The following steps are usually considered necessary. Training programs not only it is tedious for the management department and human resource management, but also it is expensive, because you have to bring trainers, and in-house trainers also they'll have to give salaries, and you have to arrange everything, and the food and accommodation for the staff is given. All these things are included in that. Discovering of identifying the training needs. Training program should be established only when it is felt that you should assist in the solution of a specific problem. Identification of training needs must contain three types of analysis. The requirement of the program is to be decided as per as per the requirement, how much it is essential, how much it cannot be avoided. So for this, we'll have to do an organizational analysis, determine the organization's goal, its resources, and the allocation of resources as they relate to the organizational goals. Operational analysis focus on the task of the job regardless of the employee doing the job. Man analysis reviewing the knowledge, attitude, skills of the person but acquire to contribute satisfactory to the attainment of organizational objectives. Armed with the knowledge of each trainee, specific training needs program of improvement can be developed that are tailored to these needs. The training program then follows a general sequence aimed at supplying the trainee with the opportunity to develop his skills and abilities. As we said earlier, preparing the instructor. Now we'll come to the preparation of the instructor. The instructor is the key figure in the entire program. That is where he is the most important personality in the program happening. He must know both the job to be taught and how to teach it. He should know the job and how to teach it. That is his capacity. The job must be divided into logical parts so that each can be taught at a proper time without the trainee losing perspective of the whole. This becomes a lesson plan for each part. On one should have in mind the desired technique and instruction, that is whether a particular point is best taught by illustration, demonstration, or explanation. So it will become important to select the instructor who is having the on job information, what is the requirement of the employee, that should be known to him very well, and he should have all the instruction skills, demonstration skills, all these skills are what to be taught. All these things should be known to the instructor. Preparing the training. This step consists of putting the learner at ease, stating the importance and ingredients of the job and its relationship to workflow, explaining why he is being taught, creating interest and encouraging questions, finding out what the learner already knows about his job or other jobs, explaining the why of the whole job and relating it to some job the worker already knows, placing the learner as close to the normal position as possible, the familiarizing him with the equipment, materials, tools, and trade terms. It is to make the trainee comfortable, learner comfortable, making him know about the importance of ingredients and job relationship workflow, explaining why he is giving the training. He should know, creating interest by encouraging him, and should inform him about the possibility of the promotions and all these things, so he'll be enthusiastic, and he'll be keep himself interested in doing the training, explaining the why of the whole job, and relating it to some job worker already knows. Presenting the operation. This is the most important step in the training program. The trainer should clearly tell, show, illustrate, and question in order to put across the new knowledge and operations. There are many ways of presenting the operation, such as explanation and demonstration. An instructor mostly uses the method of explanation. In addition, one may illustrate various points through the use of pictures, charts, diagram, and training aids. Demonstration is an excellent device when the job is essentially physical in nature. The training program may be followed as per the following steps. Presentation of the operations is one is to give instructions, and another is to give explanation or giving demonstration. For physical jobs, for manual jobs, the better to give demonstrations about the job, so the employee will understand the importance of the job very well. So the main aspects in the training program is that to explain the course of the job, do the job step to step according to the procedure, explain each step that is performing, have the trainee explain the entire job. Instruction should be given clearly, completely, and patiently. There should be an emphasis on the key points, and one point should be explained at a time. The trainee should also be encouraged to ask a question in order to indicate that he really knows and understands the job. Try out the trainee's performance. Under this, the trainee is asked to go through the job several times slowly, explaining him each step. Mistakes are corrected, and if necessary, some complicated steps are done for the trainee the first time. Then the trainee is asked to do the job, gradually building up skill and speed. As soon as the trainee demonstrates that he can do the job in the right way, he is put on his own. The trainee, through repetitive practice, will acquire more skill, and it is like making them understand what is the job, and allowing them to do it slowly, start slowly by doing a slow process, and understanding the job well, and perform well. And once the employee is confident about doing the job independently, he'll be given independent charge, and he'll be given independent position in the company, so he can operate whatever the mission or the job separately and independently. Comparison of the on the job and off the job training programs. Merit of on the job training: it permits the trainee to learn on actual equipment and in job environment. Whatever he has to do in his job, he'll understand when he is in the job. On the job training, it relatively cheaper and less time consuming, and no additional personnel or facilities required for the training. So even the people working there, they can give the training who are already experienced. They can ask the new person to do it himself and learn how to do it himself. As the trainee gets a feeling of actual production conditions, it increases the effectiveness of training. So, as the trainee gets a feeling of actual production conditions, it will increase the effectiveness of the training. So, what are the demerits of on job training? Is the instruction of the on job training is often highly disorganized and hazardous. Trainees are often subject to distractions of knowledge shop of the office. There is the low productivity too. Training methods and their suitability. The success of any training or development program largely depend on the selection of the methods used. Here, it should be remembered that no single method can prove to be the best method. Various methods are suitable for various reasons. Table 1 shows the method and their suitability for training. So, it is as we discussed earlier, the organization too should understand their requirement, the design the training program, the capacity of the employee, and design the training program accordingly. So each type of training program has its own merits and demerits. For example, the technique of training is lecture means of training, lecture training for large groups for orientation or easy understand material. If the material is easy to understand, if we are telling something and the people understand, then the lecture is the best method for using for another one is the case study method, case study technique of training. Case study is a most important way to study anything, because when we are looking into another cases, we will understand each and every detail of the problem and solution, and we will understand how to do it and what to do it. Everything can be understood. When the case study is about the famous people in the industry, we can understand easily how it has happened. For small groups, require discussion and particulation by all participants. It can be used to develop group discussions making skills. Decision making skills can be developed by case studies. In basket test technique is more for small groups for developing analytical and decision making skills. This can be opted conferences and seminars for broadening knowledge, stimulating new ideas, and changing attitude for developing skills. Conferences or seminars can be adopted for that. Programs, instructions, and computer assisted learning for either large or small group where cost is critical, permits people to study at their own convenience. They can sit at their rooms, look into the computer through the internet, they can study it. That is a for a large group, for if they are ready, if the organization feel that their people are ready to adopt and learn themselves, then they can go for that. Simulation and gaming for group projects for developing decision making skills required for the integration of many factors. Simulation and gaming programs. Laboratory training for groups of almost any size for changing an organization's attitude, for increasing organizational problem solving capabilities. T group sensitive training for developing better understanding and better perception of co-workers. Now, what is how the selection of a training method happens? The selection of appropriate training methods depend upon the following factors: nature of the problem area. First, you should understand what is the nature of the problem area, which requires the training. The choice of the training method depend upon the task to be done or the matter in which the people interact with each other. That is, the problem may be either an operational problem or a human relations problem. Level of trainees in the organization's hierarchy. The choice of a training method also depends upon the level of participants. Method's ability to hold and stimulate the interest of trainees during the training program. The trainer has to be consider alternative methods of presenting training material to participants, along also from the point of view of their ability to stimulate interest and facilitate retention of the matter. Availability of competent trainers, that is also important in deciding the selection of training method. Training method is as effective as the ability of the trainer. He is most important figure in the entire training program. Therefore, before venturing into training program, we have to first find a good trainer. Availability of finance. Availability of finance is crucial for any training program. To make a training program effective and adequate, finance is necessary. Availability of time. Training cannot be done in a hurry. Adequate time is necessary to make the training program a success. Evaluation training. Training should be evaluated to determine its effectiveness. The basic criteria available to evaluate training programs are reactions of participants. After the training, you should take the reactions from the participants, and that will give a good idea about the effectiveness of the training. One of the simplest and common approaches, training participants' reactions. Participants can give us insights into content and techniques that they find most useful. Potential questions to trainees must include questions like, what were your learning goals from this program? Did you achieve them? Would you recommend the same training program to others? What suggestions do you have to making the training program more effective? All these questions shall be asked to the pupil, the participants, and they will give exact idea about how to evaluate the training program. So performance of trainers. Beyond that, participants think about the training. It might be good idea to see whether the trainees actually learned anything. That is very important. Testing knowledge and skills before beginning a training program gives a baseline standard of trainees that can be measured again after training and determine improvement. The training program, trainers' ability and trainees' ability are evaluated on the basis of a quantity of content learned and time in which it is learned, and learners' ability to use or apply the content learned. If the learner has learned something and is eligible to use that effectively, then there is a success in giving the training to them. Performance of the training itself. It is necessary to evaluate the training program itself. The methodology of evaluation consists of setting up a control group and experimental group, and follows a four-tier system by the subordinate, by the superior, by the peers, and by the trainees to terms of observed behavior before and after the training. From the trainee's behavior, we will understand what he has learned from the training, and we can evaluate the capacity, the performance of the training. So ultimately, when we are interacting with when we are finishing the training, we should check with the participants what they have learned, and how much they are impressed, how much they will recommend, and how much they are impressed learned from this. And the performance of trainers shall be evaluated by checking with the trainees and checking with other supervisory cadre people. The performance of the training itself can be evaluated whether the participant is able to do the job which is supposed to be the trained job after the completion of the training. Behavioral change in the trainees. Even after the effective training program, the trainees may not demonstrate behavioral changes back in job. Transfer of training refers to the effective participation of principals learned to what is required on the job. There are several methods of assessing transfer of learned skill back to the job. These include observations of trainees, interview with trainees, managers, and examination of trainees. Post-training performance appraisals. Post-training performance appraisals also can be. We can check the behavioral changes in the employees, the participants, so that we can understand how much they have learned from the training program and how much it is useful for them to do it in the training program. Organizational effectiveness. Some of the results-based criteria used in the evaluatory training include increased productivity, fewer employee complaints, decreased waste, and profitability. The ultimate result of training program should contribute to the organizational goals. If the training is to be effective, the organization should be the prime object. For this, we should diagnose organizations' needs, and as a prerequisite, we have to find out the ills that challenge the organization's effectiveness, and all the effectiveness, the output, organizational effectiveness, the output of the training program can be awesome if the waste and profitability, waste management, behavioral concern, behavioral changes, and all these things can be measured from the uh, program. Kickstart model of training evaluation. Companies spend substantial amount of money, energy, and time on training and development of their employees. A four-level training evaluation proposes a developed by Kirkpatrick remains a classic and most comprehensive method model that has enormous practical value. These four levels are given below, and the four values are reactions. One of the simplest, most common approaches to training evaluation, the reactions of the trainees, and training institutes perform level evaluation. Learning beyond what particular things would about the training, it might be good to check whether test knowledge and skills before beginning and training, and give a baseline standard. The training program trainer's ability and trainee's ability are evaluated by that. Transfer. This involves assessing the benefit of training to the work in the real world. Transfer of training refers to the effective application of principles which they have learned, and check whether they have successfully done that. Ultimately, the business result, the ultimate result of the training program should contribute beside the organization goals like increased productivity and profitability for the business. That is the ultimate aim of being into any business training and the training. So hope this much of behavioral change and the training program we are evaluating. Next, we will go for executive or management development. I hope this study is useful for the audience. Thank you so much for the patient hearing. Thank you.